No, you're a good bean. Don't put yourself down. Seriously, where's the toggle for these nails? I like them long. So sad. I'm actually sad.
Oh, God.
These are real first world problems, kids.
Welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
I'm Old Man Raptor, and folks, I hope you hold on to your shoes because this girl is good. And
I don't know
you
what you're
are.
talking about. Hi, I am Rose or RoseinVR, or depending on the communities that you're in, especially JP, you may know me as Mama Rose, or just that ADHD chick. You may or may not also recognize this, or apparently I can't talk. It is 11:30 at night for me, and I'm usually asleep 2 freaking hours ago, so I'm a little delirious. Please be patient with me. But, yeah.
What?
New fluff model. Hi.
I'm just curious. It sounds like a Trojan ad.
What is wrong with you? Chat, cancel him. Put spam F's in the chat. Yes, I'm talking to you like this is the freaking office. Cancel him. I'm kidding. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
Oh my God. Okay. My God. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I am the best I can. I'm trying.
Sorry. I'm
sorry, folks.
I love you. I'm kidding.
Sorry,
Please,
folks.
give him love.
Sorry, we've had a little bit of a early wingding before we got here, and we were talking. Oh boy! But we're gonna get these questions going for your sake, not ours. And they are lying. My God! Help
well, we'll
me.
start the conversation off. What are you known for? How'd you get started? What got you into Vrchat?
Crap! There's lots of things. Which one do you want to go for first? You want to go for DJing? Dang, okay. I didn't even get to freaking breathe up in this bitch. Okay.
We don't give you an inch, man.
That's
Too
crazy.
bad.
Maybe I should shrink my dang nails. Stab. Okay, DJing. Well, I don't know if I should do a SparkNotes version or if I should do like a full-blown one. But I actually wanted to DJ for quite a while. 8 years to be exact. But sometimes life takes priority, and you can't necessarily go for little things on the side that aren't financially important, like buying a 100 or, in my case right now, a $300 DJ deck. So my story of DJing really comes into, sorry if you hear the creaking in my chair here, let me do it. ASMR. You hear that? You don't hear that? All right. Okay. I don't even know why this chair sounds like this. Okay. Going back to it, ADHD, sorry. When I originally got into Vrchat, the first thing that really caught my eye was worlds like this. But then I heard, from a friend of mine that there was also a music scene in here. Now, I didn't know anything about Discord. I've had Discord for years. I didn't actually start using it until I played this game, okay? So I looked on Google, and mind you, this is about 3 years ago. I looked on Google and looked up Vrchat music, Vrchat raves, events. And then a lot of the clubs that I visited now, thinking about it, are defunct. But I found websites for different clubs. Shelter was also one of them. That one isn't defunct, I guess. But I just randomly went and started visiting these different places, and I was flabbergasted because I couldn't believe that there were other people that listened to the same thing as me. Growing up, I was the outlier, in the 90s and the early 2000s. You would have the basic pop and the R&B. And I love R&B, mind you, I DJ it. But I liked other things like garage and house music, even classic dubstep, the classic Wub Wubs 2000s dubstep I'm referencing. But no one else did. So I was very alone when it came to my music tastes. So when I came in here 20 plus years later and saw that there was a thriving community of people who listened to the stuff that I did, and then I could finally put names to some of these things too, then it was cool. So I started looking for more crap, and then that's when I realized, I actually got to start using my DJ thing. Now this will all come into play to your original question. I'm sorry. We got to
Okay.
have some backstory. So fast forward quite a few months later while I'm in Vrchat, and I'm going to shout out my son. Yes, my son, Merles. You know, Merles, you freaking have Ladinjo, Hysterium, multiple people that I don't even remember how I started making friends with some of the people that I just mentioned to you now. They would actually probably be better at explaining this thing. And y'all might watch this later. I love you. But I watched them. And then it kind of reminded me that I kind of wanted to do something like that too. But I never had the chance to. But looking around, much like how we're having this interview right now, where you're very free to creatively express yourself, whether it's through learning the stories of other people, or playing music, or singing, or taking pictures of people, or doing videography. That creativity and that freedom kind of drew me in and resparked my interest again. And I talked to friends, and I put a post on Twitter and Instagram. You don't have to follow me there, but it is there if you want to see it. Because I knew that if I said I would, I wouldn't, and I needed it to be public, so I wouldn't give up on it again. So fast forward a little bit further, I have the DJ Hercules Control Mix, a very small deck, in my Amazon cart, and I've already told all the friends, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, Rose! Go for it! And I had it sitting in my cart, and I looked at my husband, and I said, like, "Hun, should I?" He was like, "Go for it," and I ordered it right then and there, and that was the start of me at least attempting for it. And then 2 weeks after I got my deck and I was practicing playing, um, Hysterium's club, which is now called Subliminal, at the time, it wasn't even released yet. I was with him and some of his friends, and Ladinjo and some of his friends, and we all kind of went to his unopened club at the time. And I'll never forget what Dinjo said. And Dinjo, I appreciate you so much. I still have that recording that you did for me when I did my first set. They encouraged me to try. I said, "No, I'm not I'm not good enough. I've only been practicing for 2 weeks. I can barely do a transition." But Dinjo told me something that kind of stuck with me. You'll never know until you try. So I did, and my hands were disgusting and sweaty for 5 minutes, and I barely did a transition. It was garbage. But you know what? I had fun, and it kind of just went up from there. And then at first, I got rejected quite a bit. Realistically, if you're in a club, especially if it's a bigger club, who's going to go for a no name? Not a lot of places, whether we like to admit it or not. So I did a lot of, I guess you could call them pop-ups, when it was just me, myself, and I. No one joined, except maybe a few people every once in a blue moon, which were friends. And they'd be like, "Yeah, Rose, like, press that play button. That's cool." Shoot, remember when I tried glitch hop? Okay, anyway. um, um,
What's glitch hop?
but um, think of any YouTube video from 2014. That whole I would probably do a really bad rendition of it, but it's like, nah. No. I was gonna try it, but I'm gonna get cooked. I'm already cooked as it is. Just like whenever you got a chance, like even I know you're recording right now, but just look up glitch hop. I guarantee you, if you watch any YouTube channel in between the 2010s to 2010 to 2014, you've at least heard some version of it. It's like, dun, 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 dun. I can't sing it. Never mind. But pretty much, it's an electric dance music genre, one of them. And I did pop-ups, and then eventually, this club, to my knowledge, right now is defunct, and it's called Tunnel. It was the first one that I had a large amount of people. I was able to invite some friends to play. So Paul Manton, Merle, and Wicho were the folks that I asked to join in, and they were so incredibly supportive, and it was so wonderful to kind of see them do their thing, and it encouraged me even more. I had been watching my friends from the sidelines and cheering them on, but one of one of the things that my husband came um, one of the things that I like to do for DJing, realistically, when you see someone come into your instance or whenever you're playing at a club, not only is it a privilege because they asked you to play or they allowed you to, but you can be a blessing on people that walk in. My friends at the time didn't realize that they were helping me with my depressive episodes, anxiety, horrible work days. So in a way, with me DJing, not only to have fun, because realistically, who's making money from this? Let's enjoy ourselves while we do it because we like to. I want to pay it forward too. So if there's someone that's silently struggling in the crowd, you don't have to say it. But if you can at least forget your worries for a second, enjoy yourself, immerse yourself in the music, it can be very healing. That's kind of what DJing is like for me. To remember to enjoy yourself, have fun, don't take it so seriously. And as a side effect, if me playing some tear out, yes, I play tear out. Why does that always surprise people? Um, or even playing some house music. Um, Maybe it can help make your day a little better, even if it sounds kind of dumb or fairy tale-ish. It helps to drown out my thoughts. Maybe it can help you too. And for the 50 billionth time, it's fun. Enjoy yourself. Please talk to me while we're playing. I can multitask. ADHD is a son of a bee, you know? But yes,
Rose,
that is, huh?
what is, not to change the subject, but what's one of the weirdest things you saw in VR when you came in?
I got two stories for you. I'm gonna ruin your life. Just kidding. Not really. There are people that
Yeah,
have
my
far worse
age.
stories than I do. Okay, so first off, I was in the Black Cat. Yes,
Wow,
there's two.
yeah.
Yeah, crazy. And I had a different fur model at the time because I didn't know you could buy these and you could customize them. Like, look, I got a wedding ring. Ah! Yeah, I'm married. Weird, huh? Why do people still think I'm not married? Anyway, I went to a.
You notice she looked at me. Yeah.
I wonder
That's
why,
an early
Raptor.
I
wonder why.
I wasn't even directly looking at you, but now, wait, no. Here, make sure to zoom in the camera. My neck cracked in 7. Wait, hold on. I'm looking. My neck freaking cracked in like 7 different places. God, I feel old. Okay, anyway. I wish you could have heard it. It was like popcorn. But anyway, Black Cat. Going back to the topic before we start having a roast session on everybody. Honestly, at this rate, I totally deserve it. Just saying. I was at a Black Cat, and I didn't know what the phrase ERP meant. I thought it was like LARPing, live action role play. So I'm at a mirror and I'm just sitting there mute. I barely talk to people when I first got online. And honestly, if I don't know you very well, I'm gonna be mute at first. And then I'm gonna get real dumb. But you just gotta get through that introductory period. These people did not. I didn't know them. Never saw them again. Anyway, so I'm sitting at the mirror and I'm listening to people talk in awe at this. And they look over to me and they're like, "Oh, Rose, you want to ERP with us? We're going to go through this portal." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, sure." Again, I'm thinking it's LARP, live action role play. So I'm about to follow them. but then I gotta get something done or my freaking battery dies. I don't even remember anymore. I've told this story like a billion times and I'm forgetting stuff each time I tell it. But I essentially just don't go with them. So I was extremely clingy to the friend that invited me to VRchat to begin with when I first got online because I didn't know nobody. I didn't know any, I was loner, uber loner Rose. And I told her, and she looked at me with the angriest facial expression, like, who told you? Who told you what that meant? And I, I was in the corner. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? I don't know. And then she explained to me what it actually meant. And I was like, oh, oh no. Oh, thank God. That would have been really, really bad. So that's one story, how I learned what ERP actually meant, you gooners. And then the second one was I was in a club. I forget the name of this club. Very rarely am I able to get into it because I don't freaking know what it is and I just happen to join off somebody. Anyway, I see a Korean dude. I'm gonna unplug myself. I see a Korean dude walking in fully naked. Okay, this is my first experience in the VRChat avatars, one of my first handful of raves. Okay, there is a paper bag, and obviously it's a dong that's under that paper bag. Why did they put physics at the paper bag? They could have just left it. Could have been stationary. You already raped my eyeballs, but all you saw was the whole time. And I sat there in the corner. They
With
allow
their
that?
mouth open.
Yes.
God.
Who the freak allowed that? What weird nut job decided to freaking make a virtue dong? You know what? You don't even have to answer that question. I already know there's people that do that crap. But back then, I was innocent. You burned my eyeballs. What the hell? That's a virtual dong. Why'd you do that? I was so innocent. I still am. But I was even more innocent back then until you burned my eyeballs.
Can I say something to that innocent setup? Should
Why do I
I?
feel like you're going to roast me?
Should I? I'm going to if you want me to.
Dang,
Remember
that's
you
crazy.
talked about if you're innocent, then why is there a ring on your finger? Is that just a way to work the door, or just waiting for her husband to come back in just a few seconds ago?
I had to stop breathing. I had to stop breathing. Oh, you see how long this freaking nail is? It's actually, hold on. Wait. No. Bring the camera.
You don't have to beat on me.
I'm not poking you. I'm not poking you. I was actually trying to see how long it is. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna extend it all the way, okay? No, this is social experiment time, okay? You're pulling out the thunder, so I'm gonna bring out my claws. Hold on, where's my claws at?
They're on your hand. How much more do you need?
I know that! This has a toggle! You can make them bigger! I made them smaller! and I actually can't find them either. That is crazy. Hold on. Oh my gosh. You know what? You're very lucky. This joke is dying as fast as my battery. So you're lucky. You're lucky.
She's gonna
This
kill
time
me later after this interview. I just have that fucking feeling. I'm gonna be. You ever seen a raptor roll down the stairs? There it is. It's
I've
just
seen
right
a raptor
behind
fly down the stairs for the same reasons why she'll probably punch you.
Probably.
But I won't do that. I'm too nice.
Yeah, after the cameras shut off. Yeah, you're an innocent being, like somebody getting ran over by a bus. Yeah, 12 gauge, pump it up. Yeah, pump out a few rounds. Why not?
Oh my God! So you remember how I said ADHD? Yeah, it's gonna be real unhinged. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're fine.
It's A-okay.
You're okay. I probably deserve it anyhow. So it's half the time. That's
Oh my
not a
gosh,
situation.
no, you're a good bean. Don't put yourself down. Seriously, where's the toggle for these nails? I like them long. So sad. I'm actually sad.
Oh, God.
These are real first world problems, kids. Serious.
We're first problem kids.
Well,
God.
First world.
I got you. I ain't arguing. No. I learned a long time ago. You don't argue with a woman, and if you are, you're a fool. Long time ago.
You're not okay. I mean, you're not fully wrong, but we can be wrong too. Okay, you just gotta find someone that's willing to admit it.
Yep.
oh,
What's your
I forgot to
question?
breathe again.
you don't forget to breathe. Breathing's important. Not breathing's
My
bad for
nose
your
is
health.
Listen,
that's all
my
we
nose
need
is
is you to
partly
pass out in
stuffed.
your chair, and we're gonna go. What happened to Rose? You guys roasted her so hard. It wasn't a roast. It was she just passed out on us.
Just
Get
like,
your
are you
water.
sure? Are you
Just gonna
sure?
lay down. Jesus Christ! My God.
Dude, I hope my legs don't look so super freaking weird. Don't look there. Gosh. Beautiful lady. What's wrong with you, camera? You're so... I'm kidding. Okay. Let me sit like this.
All right.
Jesus Christ. You want to get a question in now?
Future Lion. Make that a short. That's the short for the advertisement for the video.
Advertisement for this unit.
Really?
There we go. Yep, we got it.
Really? Wait, you gotta have like a clickbait thumbnail.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Hey, yo, maybe I should start a podcast.
Oh God, help me. Oh my God. Man, I'm going to be here for an hour trying to get the waters out of my fucking goddamn glutton. Oh my God. Hey, I'm going to have to buy a new headset after this
I
shit.
think you broke him.
My God. Oh my God.
Oh,
Help me.
imagine if this is someone's first impression of me too. Oh God!
Well, to be fair, it very well could be a lot of people's first impressions of you.
Impression and not
And I
just
think
one.
some of the
It could be a
VRChat
whole
staff watch
bunch.
this too, so they may be their first impression of you.
They're gonna see. They're gonna see that
don't worry.
she's not so innocent after all, is she? She does such a good job on the stage.
I
and
crack
doing it.
lots of jokes.
Anyway, before this gets any more unhinged than it needs to be, you mentioned earlier that you were brought in here by a friend. How did you end up into VRChat to begin with that led you to the DJing scene?
So she came over our house and she had her headset, and I don't even remember if she had her laptop or not. She might have been using my husband's desktop. Anyways, as I try to do some horrible memory recollection, I put on her headset. She went to a world. I don't remember what freaking world it was. All I know is that it was beautiful. For my 90s kids out there, or maybe late 80s kids. Remember the Virtual Boy? Remember how much it hurt your head? How it was red and black and it hurt your eyeballs at the same time? Now, who would have imagined 25 years later that you would be sitting here doing this? So when I saw her in her model, just walking around with her stupid little base stations in the corners, because she brought them over too. She didn't do the tether thing. I don't know. I use slimes. Anyway, she brought over her base stations and I saw her walking around and I was like, what the heck are you doing? And then she showed me, and it was this beautiful world. So I was like, listen, give me your headset. I gotta check this out. This is the weirdest, yet coolest looking thing. Give me it. Give me. So, after, and she knows how unhinged I can be, like I am to you and to you too. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, it's great.
That's
I
great.
was-
I think it's perfect, man. This is great.
I freaked the freak out. Like earlier, before we started recording, I rubbed my butt on my carpet like a dog. I will do it again because that's how excited I was. I mean, I wasn't obviously doing that like a dog. Maybe this is me calling myself out. But anyway, we're going to ignore what I just said. I put on her headset and I saw the coolest looking crap that I had ever seen. And what really drew me in here was the creativity of people, the world that we're in right now, the person who took the time to model this, the beautiful, minus the invisible chair that you can't see that I'm sitting in right now, the steps, the trees, the freaking sky textures. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. My husband has more knowledge than I do, and even then his knowledge is basic compared to the amount of detail that's in here. No shade, hubby. You do a fantastic job. It's just not this level yet. But just seeing this here, I was flabbergasted. Big big English words. I'm smart. I was flabbergasted. And I asked her, how do you do this? And immediately that sparked my interest. And an hour later, I went to my local electronics store and I bought a headset. That, yeah, literally the exact same day. And fortunately,
get a ticket,
I already
did you?
had. No, my husband drove, and he actually did drive kind of fast, but it wasn't that much faster. Miles per hour, filthy American here. It was only like 5 over, so not horrible. Not horrible, especially in my state where people typically go 15. But yes, we went ahead and got it, and then my husband tried mine, and then we went back to the same electronics store and bought him one.
Oh God!
This is after payday. So we were like,
God.
oh, we have extra in the budget. And we ran. I mean, right now I'm pink, but I'm black. I was like, gosh dang, Usain Bolt. Go into that freaking electronics store, my wallet, take my money. Take my freaking money. So that's what we did. And I was sad because the world that she was in, I didn't realize that there was a difference between Quest and PC. So I had a gaming laptop, but it wasn't very good. So to start off at first, I went to Quest World. But even Quest, with its various limitations, bless those who can't go into PC yet. Emphasis on that. The way that people can design things with the limitations, avatars, making these models, making the hair that's on my head, the freaking texture that's on my body, which, I'm wearing clothes, but so if I didn't, I feel kind of naked, so I'm not going to do that. But just know that it's like ice cream. Anyway, just the amount of skill that people have. Thank you so much to those who do model creating and to those who optimize or they help their friends optimize, or those who make worlds that Lion, Raptor, and I are sitting in. Without you guys, we wouldn't have more than half of the experiences and memories that we have. You guys deserve a big high five. So high five to you. You're amazing and you're wonderful. Thank you for all that you do, including those that staff at clubs, but that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, so yeah, freaking got hooked in. And then I got a little story for you too. And I know you probably have another question, so we'll move on to that. I was in VR for 2 weeks straight. I got off, don't get me wrong, but I was in VR every single day after I got off work because I was addicted, literally addicted. And it got so bad to the point where I was at my job and I was typing on my computer, generic office lady, and I had a VRDJ avatar at the time. Those who know. And I started doing the expressions when I would talk to people. But I had my hands under my desk. And it was at that point that I was like, okay, no more. No more. So that was the one and only time that I was in VR every day for consecutive weeks. 2 weeks. Never again. Because I actually started doing the gestures IRL while I was at work talking to people. So then I shortened my time significantly to maybe a few times a week, and then maybe like twice a week. Max. And yeah, that's pretty much my Spark Notes, but not really origin story of being absorbed into VRchat and wasting hundreds of dollars same day, and then making my husband waste hundreds of dollars same day and not regretting it whatsoever. And also my computer turning into an airplane because gaming laptops, they're okay, but Ooh.
VRChat has this funny way of making your computer sound like a jet turbine, I understand.
Hey, yo, you got a fire extinguisher? Hold on, I got you. I'm kidding. I really do have a fire extinguisher over there, though. Ooh.
It's probably smart. So you said early in the
Absolutely.
beginning when you said you asked, try to clarify when I asked what are you known for, you kind of alluded to you do more than DJing. How many hats do you wear here?
That is a good question, isn't it? Well, we already heard a very Spark Notes, not really summary of me DJing. I do photography as well, mostly known for at Subsystem. Can't see my group above my head, but I always got to represent my home turf. And I, this one is a recent development, and it's taken me a very long time to get over some fear. So I'm still working through it, but I sing as well. And I'm very slowly starting to, I don't even know if I'd call it debuting because I just sing when I want, if people allow me to. It's the same thing as DJing. You know, there are some places that are very open to just taking anybody, and then other places, you need to get around a little bit more. I get it. I understand. Uh, but yeah, so I also do photography and I also do singing. Singing is occasional whenever someone is kind enough to give me a chance. Photography predominantly, unless it's for personal memories of my own, or if I happen to be helping a friend at their own club, is at Subsystem.
So what got you started with photography and how did you find Subsystem?
Step into the game, feel the rush ignite. Digital battlegrounds, neon in the night. Adrenaline surges, heartbeats collide. Ready for the challenge, no place to hide. The virtual gauntlet awaits. Dive into the fray. Feel the power, feel the thrill, light up the way. In this world of thoughts, where legends are made. Push the limits, let the fire invade.
So, besides me yapping for a good 5 minutes about wasting my money, my husband, unfortunately, he gets very sick easily wearing headsets. His motion sickness is off the roof. So he bought it, but he couldn't even play it much. Now, over time, when he had more time, uh, his sickness got a little bit better. So he wasn't as motion sick. He could actually turn and not have to worry about having that freaking snap thing. Shout out to you if you use it. For me, it just annoys me. But he just didn't feel well, so he couldn't play as often. So originally, that Instagram that I was talking about a little bit earlier, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, I started that page not too long after I got into VR because my husband instantly got interested in VR the same way I did, the creativity of people and seeing this. This is fantastic. But he couldn't enjoy it. So I started doing like a virtual diary for him. That was what my Instagram was originally for because he couldn't see it in person. So I snapped pictures so he could at least see the things that I saw and he could experience it in the way that I could. I didn't know how to do videography. And honestly, back then it kind of sucked. So shout out to those that did do films and stuff. Y'all are so amazing. It's like reading Chinese, and I know Chinese friends. It's just as bad. But I started taking pictures for him, so at least he could experience VR one way or another, whether it's through a phone or the very rare occasion that he was able to get online. And eventually, I just found I like taking pictures of crap and of people and of, all right, I'll have to explain that one later. But for reference, if you didn't see that in the camera, I looked at my foot. But then I realized I started to take pictures of a lot of stuff. Pillars and the people that were walking by it, you know. Even you, Raptor, if you happen to be in a random instance, we'll probably snap a picture of you and, you know, if you happen to be a part of the Discord, because I did purposely look for Discords to post photos in because, you know, I always wanted to see pictures of myself. And I assumed that other people probably would too if they were at an event. So if I took pictures, I made sure to Raptor, I promise, I'm not picking on you on purpose. I appreciate you so much. You're just really funny.
You're not bothering me at all. You go ahead. You're perfectly fine. I've got questions. I'm just waiting until you're done.
Yeah, I really gotta hurry up and shut up. But
No, don't shut up.
just
Keep on
kept
talking.
going.
It's great.
Don't, but keep going. You're fine. I'm just waiting for when you decide to take a breather and I can throw another one at you.
Did I tell you I forgot to breathe again? Anyway, so
And she yells at me for not taking a drinking water. What the hell? Okay, yeah.
I'm breathing out of my mouth. My nose is stuffed. But yeah, I just yeah, that's actually why I keep forgetting because I keep talking. I kept taking pictures of people, and then before long, I started taking pictures at clubs. No one knew me. We're not a nobody. But at the time, I was just a passing face in the crowd, you know, just another person to add to the number of whoever was in an instance. But I would still take pictures, memories. For him, I'm pointing as if you can see my door. But I would take pictures for him. And then eventually it started to not just be for him, it was for me too. So I could remember my time here. There are very few games that have the longevity of Skyrim or WoW or, you know, various MMOs. So, in the event that one day VRC isn't here anymore, God forbid, I hope it's here for a very long time. But if by chance 15 years from now it's not here, or it's evolved into such a way that I can't access it anymore, at least I can look at pictures from 2022, 21, and see what models I wore at the time, or the friends that I knew who have all moved on from this game, or have moved on from being here. Especially when the time came of realizing that, you know, and this might be a little bit more of a serious topic, not as much funny, haha, but there are folks who are no longer here that we would talk to. And it became even more important for me. And mind you, this is really time skipping, besides just starting to take some pictures for clubs and myself and my husband. But it's another way to memorialize, you know, your day to day, because you never know what could happen. We're all living various lives outside of VR, and we're all going through many, many things. I have multiple health issues. Can't tell, but I do. And there are people who are going through even worse than I am. So I want to make sure that I remember everybody that I meet, because every single person here, much like the story, my own, that's being recorded right now, the people behind this very camera and the people who might be doing the editing all have their stories too. You might know a friend that was actually interviewed here a while ago, Kaidun, how he likes to take pictures of people, and it's really a passion for him. I don't just do photography in VR, I do it IRL too. And much like how I do event photography in VR predominantly, because I love catching people when they're talking to people, because it's their most natural state. You can't fake someone's laughter when they're laughing with their friend, but you can force a smile if a camera is put in your face. I like, as well as many photographers within the scene, I like candid moments, and those tend to be the best memories. That's another reason why I do photography. To remember.
Son of a
Okay.
bitch. She already answered my question. I'm done.
Well, good thing I got more.
Hey, yo! Hey, yo! Besides my freaking controller having a dang stroke. Hey, yo! Hold on. Hey, yo!
Jesus.
It's like, dang, that's crazy. I got fired from my own job. Next.
Oh, God.
So,
I'm kidding,
wow.
I'm kidding.
with both photography and DJing, what are some moments
Time for a
or
model change.
between photography and DJing, what are some moments or photos that have stuck with you over the years I've been here, and why?
Just realized I was muted. This is the only thing that sucks about freaking face tracking. Like you'll be talking and you'll be and you don't realize it because you freaking see your mouth moving. Ah! Okay. Memorable moments in photography. I feel like Kaiden probably answered the exact same way. Shout out to Kaiden. It's really hard to pick. There are so many. When I first got into VR, like the first year or so, I went to a lot of public lobbies because I didn't really know anybody. And it was fun to see people joke around with their friends. Gosh, that makes me sound like a loner, but I was. And I I took a picture of the most memey wedding, Uganda Knuckles, and freaking Sexy Kermit. Uganda Knuckles and Sexy Kermit. And I took a picture of them to show him of them getting married. And the Kermit had human lips. It was disgusting. And I threw up in my mouth. Surprisingly, there weren't any children there. It was all grown men and women and thems. And I just sat in the corner like, oh, it's just VRChat? Okay. Because, poor me. Oh my gosh. I mean, my cat who's walking in the office, she's innocent. Oh no. I was seeing like bogus marriages. Where's your ring? I mean, my ring's kind of broken on this particular model, but where's your ring? Oh, why do I see someone twerking? Oh God. So I guess that could be a funny one. I can't. There's so. That's the problem. You take so many pictures of so many different people. All of them are special in one way or another. Geez, people that I later became friends with, I took pictures of them with their friends who are now my friends, just laughing and enjoying themselves. People who visited certain places who are no longer here. I got pictures of them too. And in that case, we live all over the planet. So it's almost impossible unless you really have the expedition of funds. So, seeing little pictures like that, that's really special too. Pictures of Sub and the people that go there. I remember you and I see you. I may not always be able to talk to you because I'm getting yoinked by 70 billion different people who are also other people visiting Sub, but I remember you. And if there is a picture of you, or if I haven't taken a picture of you yet, I will. Just give me some time. Just do your thing. I promise you will get one eventually. I remember those people too. Memories. They all are special in one way, shape, or form. Some are just really, really dumb. Like, really dumb. But funny too.
I got something for you, Rose. Rose, and and all the setups that you've been through, from where you started to where you are, what is one of the biggest things that you've had when somebody comes up to you and asks you, what's your reaction to it? And what do you say to them if they're asking advice or not advice, and just maybe patting you on the back or saying a negative? What do you say?
Wait, hold on. My brain completely died. Wait, hold on.
After when you're
Wait,
doing something,
wait.
whether it's photography or DJing, what kind of interactions you've had with people as they came up to you? What was the question, and how did you interact with them? That was Raptor's question.
Oh, Raptor, I'm so sorry.
No,
Did I mention
I did-
that I'm like
I
freaking?
I talk in riddles sometimes. Line corrects me sometimes.
Usually I can completely understand my dyslexic friends with no problem. I'm really freaking sleepy right now.
Oh, okay.
But I'm here for the memes. Okay, anyway, let's see. Hmm. You know what? This will actually tie into that thing that I said I would talk about later about feet. Okay, so feet pics. Yeah.
no.
First off, free territory.
God.
That's $7.
$7 for a foot pick. Fucking God.
pay for,
Wow, interest rates
pay
are
for-
going up. We're fucked. It's going
Yeah, man,
up, folks. It's going up.
Pay for my only feet. $7 a pic. Just kidding. You're banned. There's an inside joke in sub, okay? Before I got face tracking, I was incredibly good, and I still am with my lapwing. I was incredibly good when it came to facial gestures. So I could do these no problem, and I managed to trick people for quite a while that I had face tracking because I was just really freaking good at it. Because as you can tell with my Celestia, it's very expressive. The eyes are huge, so you know I'm staring at you like an awkward little hoe in the corner. But I didn't have that at the time. So I would constantly be using gestures while I'm talking to people. And I would be holding my camera. I'm left-handed. Scary. I would be using gestures in my left hand. And when I did it, sometimes I'd snap my camera at the exact same time, which was always at the ground. And for some godforsaken reason, it was always at people's feet. So, so I would be scrolling through my photos later, getting ready to edit them or whatever. And then I see someone's toes. I'm like, oh, okay. Let me just delete that really quick. But then while I was like freaking walking around the floor checking in on people, because I do that too. See how you're doing, like what's up? I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks. I know we're all dead inside. And someone called me out. I don't even remember who it was, probably Proper. And he was like, hey, stop taking those feet pics. And I was like, it's not on purpose, Christ. But you know what? If you can't beat them, freaking join them. So you know what I did? I started taking pictures on purpose with people actively seeing me while I'm doing it. I'm not a freaking creep, but I would still, because I use my gestures and stuff, I would still take pictures by mistake. So every time someone would hear it and wouldn't see my camera staring directly at me like this one is, they would instantly be like, oh, you taking them feet pics? And then I just kept going with the joke. And I was like, yeah, we got only feet, you know? And someone dared me. You can still find it in Sub's Discord. If you dig deep enough, you can still find the picture where someone dared me to post it. And I did. I did. And I made sure to put a disclaimer too. Like, I was told to, but look at this though. Ain't that funny? LOL. LMBO, wow, that's crazy. And that joke has been going on for like the past 2 years now. 2 years. I've been in VR long enough to say that. Oh God. Gross. Disgusting. What a horrible thought. Jesus.
What another horrible thought. That's also a question. How many hours do you have here in VRchat?
Surprisingly, not as much as you think. I know people in here that have 40,000. I have 2,000 after 3 years.
Oh, wow. That's not too bad.
That ain't bad at all.
Yeah. But I never even finished answering your question earlier besides the story. ADHD is a Saskatchewan. Anyway, most times when people come up to me and they're asking things, they'll crack jokes when it comes to the photography. Because as I'm talking to the camera, as I'm talking to you guys right now, especially when I get to know you, I'm very stupid. I'm very silly. I'm very goofy. And I'm very energetic. too. So people kind of feed off that energy like a bunch of roaches, and I like it. It's okay. This is symbiotic. Okay, I give you some of mine. Give me, yeah. But usually people will come up with a positive thing, and actually, really thinking about it, I haven't gotten anything negative while I'm doing photography. Now, when it comes to the DJing aspect, it isn't necessarily negative because we all have our different preferences. But just like how I said in VRDJ live shoutouts interview, I don't mute anybody, so I hear you. So if you say something along the lines of, "This is trash," I know you said it, and you can't hide yourself. I may not know exactly who you are because you're in a
hunt
crowd.
you down and pick your bones and your brain at the same
Hey, yo, I would ram you in the stomach first. I'm a ram. Took me 3 years to figure that out. I can hear you. So there was one time that I was I was DJing at Fishbowl, I think. It was either Fishbowl or VTVR, one of them. And I heard a friend of mine saying something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm not really feeling this. I thought this type of music was supposed to be played here." And I freaked her out because I responded to her. Yes, I DJ and talk to people at the same time. So if you want to talk to me, feel free. I might tell you to hold on if I'm in the middle of doing a transition, but I think it's fun to personally chat while doing it. But yeah, so anyway, I freaked her out. And she was like, oh no, you heard that? And I was like, yeah. But I didn't take offense to it because we all have our likes and dislikes. Sometimes I don't want to listen to DMB for the 50 billionth time. But then, someone else might. And that's okay. I'm not going to knock you up because you don't want to listen to it. We all have our preferences. But I have heard that a couple times where folks are like, this is really calm or this is really aggressive. There's no in between. It's either we get something as chill as synthwave, which is abundantly rare that I can play because not a lot of clubs allow it, or I freaking play death step and tear out and freak people out because little cute Rose is, she wouldn't play something like that. And then they hear that and then they look at me like I'm a heathen or something. I am, but you don't have to rub it in my face though.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Very much so.
Fabulous.
Oh, so with DJing as well, what got you into Subsystem? There we go. That's the word I was looking for. I get English.
Listen. Did you hear how many times I messed up my freaking words? I swear I'm dyslexic too. I just messed up one just now. Whoa. Okay. Anyway. So, a little bit earlier, probably, I don't know, like freaking 20 minutes ago. Please don't rewind time. I don't guarantee that timestamp. Just ignore it. Okay. Anyway.
Please timestamp it.
And the time. No, future you, whoever's editing. But anyway, I swear to goodness, if I see a thing on YouTube that says Rose said this and I'm saying something completely wrong, I will destroy it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
She doesn't.
I'm kidding.
She doesn't know us too well because we had not to change the subject, but we had one guy say a certain word so many times. He put 1, 2, 3 every time he said that.
I did a bump counter, and I think it was Roomba, because he kept on bumping his mic. You just hear the every time he hit it. And so I went through the whole video, and I counted and put a counter of 1 mic bump, 2 mic bump, 3 mic bump, and I kept it going. After I reached I don't know,
if y'all don't subscribe to Lion, I don't know what you're gonna do.
I gave up and said I don't know anymore, because at one point he's hit a bunch of times in a row. It's like, I'm not counting that.
Yeah, it was funny.
Listen, if y'all don't sub to him or them and follow them, listen to the dedication. This man wasted a whole probably 2 hours of his life and freaking did like a deep dive like he's watching freaking game theory to count how many times someone freaking bumped a mic. A minuscule, well, probably not minuscule because it was really noticeable at some point, but a minuscule detail like that. Subscribe to him. What am I, an advertisement? Maybe. Okay, say the question again.
What got you in a subsystem mask? How did you start helping out and working with them?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now I remember what I was going to say. So, 20 minutes. Yes, memories. Oh, help me. As I said a little bit earlier, 20 minutes ago, probably not, I was talking about how I was world hopping to various places by looking on YouTube and starting to discover how to use Discord again. And I was in the middle of doing one of these sessions looking for Rafe Worlds, and I happened to find Sub. So I walked in, and the event was already over. So I was like, oh, that sucks. But then I figured out, and this is when I really started using Discord, they have a Discord. So I took a picture on my cell phone because I didn't know how to use the Vrchat camera and look in your pictures folder. I am the reason tech support still has a job. You're welcome. Anyway, I went ahead and I took a picture on my phone and I manually typed out the Discord on my phone. And that was one of the first VR servers that I actually followed because I didn't know places use Discord. I thought it was all on Google. I thought people made websites. I mean, if you do, that's really freaking cool. And that was the first club that I actually really started following. Yeah, I heard about Shelter, but I went there. I saw it. It was cool. I enjoyed it. But I wanted to try something else too. So then I started following Sub. And then eventually I started talking to one of the world owners about Sub. And there was some different staff back then. So, at the time there was a photographer. Her name was Luna. And I asked her questions and she ended up giving me little pointers about photography because I would take some pictures of Subsystem too. And I would show them to my husband and be like, look, baby, there's people playing music in here. That crazy. Ow, I just slammed. There's a desk right here. I just freaking slammed my hand into the desk. Ooh, okay. I'm going to ignore the pain. Keep talking. Talking always helps. It always helps. I just kept visiting and visiting and visiting. And then eventually there was a photographer thing that popped up. And I was like, you know what? I take pictures. I'm probably not good enough, but I'm a freaking try. And then for some reason, they asked me to join. You're hostage now. Kidding. I'm a slave. Okay. Wow. Okay. You know what? I'm not even gonna iterate that, but if you look, okay. And it just kind of went from there. And at first, I was shy. I actually wore a fur model at the time. This obviously is a newer model. My original was Vroid because I got tired of not being able to find black models in VRChat. At the time, everybody was pastier than a ghost or a beautiful fluffy. And at the time, I didn't come out as a fur, and I didn't really realize I was a fur yet. So I was screwed. I didn't have anything I could wear. I want to wear something that's my skin tone, and I want something that represents me. And I'm not whiter than a ghost. So I got tired of it, and I eventually made my own Vroid model, which even then I got the color wrong, but it's still better than being pasty in my particular case. And I just very slowly started talking to people and stopped being a little less shy. And then before long, I kind of started garnering the nickname Mama Rose. And then people started recognizing me when they walked in. And I would always check in on them, see how they're doing. Because sometimes we need that, whether we say it or not. And yeah, it just escalated from there. And then I'm pretty much an unofficial community manager. Because I know so many people within our walls that come in here. It's actually kind of funny. There was a couple that came in a few hardbox editions ago, and it's usually a wife and her husband. Well, the wife wasn't there. So I walked up to this person, and their model slightly changed. Beautiful, cute little bunny. If you see this, hi, hope you're doing well. But I walked up to them, and I was like, "Hmm? Where's your wife?" And he was like, "You remembered?" I was like, "Yeah." They okay? Because they were with a new friend. And ironically, they invited them because of me. And because of how nice everybody was there, and they liked the music that was playing at the time. But yeah, I guess without realizing it, I have more than one hat. I do photography mainly, but if other people need help, like our wonderful host, I love you guys. You're great. Or if being community person without having the title, checking in on people, seeing who's there, you know, seeing what's good. Because again, no day is promised. So make a memory while you can. Did that answer that question?
I think it did.
My neck
I
didn't
got
crack
one
that
for
time.
her. You ready? Are you
Ready.
ready? You sure you're awful ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, just got the fur ball out. No problem. All right.
Yeah.
Since you started at one extreme, starting what you said you're shy in situation and everything else like this, we're going to take it a little further outside of VR. What's your husband, has he noticed the change from blank to where you are now? What I'm talking is your personality, stuff like that. Has he seen it in real life?
Mm, yes and no. The way I
Okay.
act in here is the exact same way that I act in person. And for those that have met me before, were surprised. And it surprised me. But it makes sense. You can be whoever you want to be in here, and you can act however you want to act. Because in a way, unless you reveal yourself, you are anonymous to a degree. But I did have a little change. The singing that I haven't talked about as much. It took me 15 years to have my first, I guess it would officially be a debut at Jentagawa-san's place. It's called Groove Truck. Really fantastic. There are English speakers there, Japanese. There are English speakers there. So if you are scared for a language barrier, you're going to have one, but you're not entirely alone there. And there's so many wonderful places. I remember those who extend their hand out to me and who give me the chance. Because much like inviting someone into your own home, they don't have to. They don't have to say it even if you've known them for a long time. They could just say, nah. Especially if it's someone that perhaps not in the way of not knowing them very well, but you may not be sure how they perform. I make sure to remember those who offer their hands first, because those seem to be the most open-minded of, the individuals that I meet here. And that's not a bad thing if you don't, you know. I personally keep that in my heart, and I'm forever grateful to those that do. Tadagawa-san is one of those people, and he is the one to allow me to sing on his stage. And it was the first time that I sang live in 15 years, and in front of people. I've been married to my husband for far too long now, and I've never sang in front of him.
Oh my God.
It's not a bad thing. Come on. That's my baby.
What are you trying to do? Tell him, going, hey, honey, I love you very much, but I like new tires too sometimes. Would you put some new rubber on? Let's go around the block one more time. What?
That's what she said. But I had to throw it. You put that out there. I'm just going with the flow, baby. I'm just going with the flow.
Go with the flow of things. That's usually the way it works. Welcome to VR.
Oh, I'm getting tainted. But Yeah, that was the first place that allowed me to sing on their stage. And much like with DJing, I started seeing friends who were singing in VR, and their voices are beautiful. Everyone has a very unique way of singing with their voice. Some are very wispy, some are very soft, some have power and belch, and can I have those pipes? um, and predominantly, this is in the Japanese community that I really was seeing that. And then I saw them, and they were unapologetically themselves. And even though there was people there, they still went. And much like with DJing, how I knew that I had to make it public, otherwise I wouldn't do it. I kind of did the same thing for singing. I hinted that maybe one day I could do that too. And they gave me courage. You know who you are. Um, and over time, I started muttering a little bit more. And I started, again, talking to my husband more. This time I didn't ask him, though, like I did for the DJ thing. I just mentioned I was thinking about it. And he was ecstatic because he's been telling me for over 10 years now, you have a beautiful voice. You should share it. You shouldn't just leave it for yourself. And I want to hear it too, because yes, I didn't even sing in front of my own husband. He would hear me in the shower. That's about it. But I would immediately stop singing anytime someone came near. So it was like my little secret. But much like with DJing and seeing people really go for their passions and keyword again, try, encourage me to too. So I saw that my friend Jantagawa-san at Groove Truck, his event is segmented into 3 things. He's got some live dancers, he's got someone who sings, and he's got someone that DJs, and a wonderful person that does graffiti on the side. Please check him out. It's very fun. Very, very fun. You're always going to see someone new. And he heard me because I released a snippet on Twitter or X, however you want to call it, don't care. And for some reason, it was a hit tweet. I recorded it on my little AirPods after I came home from work, much like how DJing is an emotional release for me. And it can help me feel better. Singing has also been a way for me to release stress or to be creative. And I just had a random idea. I call it snippets because they're only maybe a minute to 2 minutes long. I asked permission from the person for the song that I used. And it's funny because I've been listening to him for like 6 years. And he was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And just send it over when you're done. I'd love to hear it. So I recorded it on my phone. I sent it to him first. And then I sat on Twitter on my cell phone because I recorded a video in VR and everything. Had to learn how to do that. This is before the Dolly, mind you. This is like early last year. And my hand, much like how my hand was shaking when I DJ'd for the first time in front of people, my hand was shaking when I was holding my phone. Because I was like, oh my goodness, what are people going to think? What are they going to say? I hope I didn't sound like trash. Much like how DJing is very personal in a way that you're sharing interests that you care about deeply, and your music is subject to much scrutiny and varying opinions. It's even more so with your voice. With DJing, you can, for the most part, cover up a transition that's pretty bad with an effect or a backspin. You can't cover a voice crack or someone that might sound like a saw going through another saw trying to cut a diamond next to a hot dog. That was probably the weirdest description. It would be hilarious if you actually put clip art for that. But just imagine how gross and bad that would sound. Like a saw slicing a saw with a diamond with a hot dog. Like that would sound like crap. You can't hide that. You can't auto-tune your voice in lifetime. Well, actually, yes, you can, but I don't know how to do that. And honestly, I don't want to because I'm going to show myself as I am. Even the snippets that I record on Twitter are barely edited. And for the most part, if they are, so I'm louder. I don't even know how to use pitch correction, so what you get is what you get. Anyway, I posted it, and I freaked out. And then before long, 1 like, 2 like, 50, 100, 200. And I stood there and I stared at my phone, and there was just rows of comments from friends being like, I didn't know you could sing. You can sing? Oh my gosh, your voice is great. Someone sign this chick up. And I was embarrassed. But at the same time, it was nice to be seen too. Perhaps in that sense, it's admiration for those. Like, man, I would love to do that one day. And I did it. I conquered one of my many fears that day by making my voice public. You hear me talk and you've heard me yap this whole time. But I sang bad. On purpose. No, that sounds extremely egotistical. I pitch my voice in such a way to where it probably doesn't sound as pleasing to the ear. There we go. Yeah, that probably didn't help either. But anyway, I'm okay. I'm not that great. But I did that. And then Jantagawa-san, tying it back into what I was originally saying, there's always a backstory for the main thing. He came up to me and he asked, hey, you want to sing for my club? And at first I said, I'm not ready yet. So he was so sweet. He's like, okay, but when you're ready, let me know and I'll get you in. So I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting there and I'm hearing more of my friends sing. And at this time, I'm in the JP scene more often because my work schedule is ridiculous. And by the time most events are happening in my own time zone, I'm asleep. So anyway, I go ahead and like 5 months later, maybe 6, because it was September and that video was in February, I finally say I'm ready. So and it's still on Twitter, I sneak peek it and I say, I'm doing it. And again, I did it and put it in public so I wouldn't give up. So I remembered to try and push through my fears. And when that day came, I shook horribly. But that was the first time in my entire time of being in Vrchat where that lobby was 65% yellow. 65%. And it wasn't just my Japanese friends either. It was friends from all time zones. CEST, AEST, PST, CST. Everywhere across the planet, people came to hear me, a nobody. And I know that's not true, that I'm not a nobody. But imposter syndrome is real. Even more so when you don't feel like you deserve it. And my voice is getting raspy because I'm getting more tired. So I went up there. And I didn't have any of those fancy mic setups, and I didn't have equipment that some other artists on here might have. I didn't have thousands of dollars to spend on different audio interfaces and microphones and stands. All I had was a Blue Yeti mic, a sock, my husband's sock I took from the drawer to work as a pop filter, a little whatever those things are that you set on top of cups to make sure that it doesn't stain the table. I'd put it on that because I didn't have any insulating foam, and I'd close my door so my cats wouldn't come in and bother me because they love to come in whenever they know I'm in the middle of playing something like DJing or even singing. That's all I had. And I sat at my desk, just like I'm sitting here, and I shook bad. And all my friends at the time were like, we could tell you were nervous, but you sounded good. You know, next time, I hope you overcome some more of those fears. And I walked up there and I cried because I was nervous. And then I walked down in tears because I was just so thankful for the amount of support that I got. people that I hadn't talked to in a while. I'm not in VR that much anyway, but people that I hadn't talked to for a hot minute took the time out of their day to see me. It was so special. And I cried and I cried. Kaiden was crying. He recorded it too. And then that video blew up. And then people out of nowhere were like, if you can do that with a crap setup, then I wonder what you can do with an actual okay one or like a basic one. And I'm not used to getting attention like that. And again, imposter syndrome is really real. But I was so incredibly thankful. It's different when you see someone who in VR, they're so well known that they're probably used to it. They're probably used to hearing their name spoken all the time, to be pushed into VRC's algorithm, you know. But when you're not coming from that high place where you have notoriety, and all of a sudden you go into a Japanese rave, and a Japanese person who doesn't speak English saw your thing on Twitter. That's wild. And I couldn't believe it. I still can't, even though it's been a few months since then. So then my courage slowly started to go up, and I have a lot of fears still to work through. But every day, just like with DJing, trying and learning from my mistakes, I get a little more confident. And hopefully, soon enough, I'll be like how I am in DJing now, where for the most part, I don't care. It is what it is. You get what you get. I am incredibly blessed. And even though people might not know me for singing, that's cool. If you happen to hear me, it's the same with DJing. Some people know me only for photography. Some people only know me for DJing. And now some people only know me for singing. The fact that you know me at all is huge. I am one in a sea of many people on here. So, and there's more than enough roses in Vrchat. Let's be honest. I know four of them, not including myself. You know, I don't know. It's got really wholesome all of a sudden, but I'm really appreciative.
Well, I will share this one thing. Don't put yourself down for being one of many. We have learned quite a lot that in Vrchat, even in life, the littlest things you do for around people have a lot more meaning to them than you think they do. So you have a lot more impact than you think you do. Don't take that for granted.
Oh, and I know you're right. And it's so funny because I was literally just telling this to someone else. But sometimes you gotta hear it for yourself from someone else. That took so much breath. So much breath.
Did you remember to breathe?
Hear mine?
I did. Thanks.
You're welcome.
And here's mine. Here's mine. No matter what you do, girl, and everything else like this, if you've got one person that listened to you, like I tell Lion, 50% of something is better than 50% of nothing. And if you got one, you get one person that wants to listen to you, and that's all they want, no matter what you are doing, means the world to you. And nobody can take that from you.
Oh, shoot. We having these whole real life lessons. Oh, shoot. Are we supposed to be funny, goofy, ha-ha, stupid gooner crap? Holy moly.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Oh,
that's
geez.
good. Because that's good. When you're the one that's always giving advice to other people, sometimes you got to hear it for yourself. And that's something that I am slowly working on. But
well, I might be small, but I can kick you in the shins once in a while and get your attention.
No, I deal with knee pain. I deal with knee pain
Okay, I'll go with your shoes. I'll just go with your shoes.
Yeah, this is fine. Feel free to scuff them.
Scuff 'em. After you're done, I want them polished, buffed, and back the way they were when you found them the first time. Okay, gotcha.
Oh my God. Nah, you ain't got to do all that. You know how much that is nowadays? Besides, it'll probably be some random dude in the mall trying to ask for a copious amount of money. Someone asked to polish my flats. Flats? PU leather
shoes?
Flats?
No
flats,
doubt.
Yes.
Oh my God. Come polish your
they're trying to charge
flat?
$40 for it. USD.
Oh my God.
So
wow.
I wish I was kidding. I died a little inside.
after you've told a lot of your origin stories and some of your history, how does it feel looking back at a lot of it from where you started to where you are now? Hello, I'm actually here to interrupt the episode you're watching really quick to ask you a favor. Please come join us at any of the other locations we have. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify, both of which we post our episodes and are very up to date on both. We have Discord where you go to hang out all the time, where you're gaming and shooting the breeze over with many people over that way. Feel free to come join us. I invite you. If you wish to support us, we have a Patreon where we post a bunch of random bits, bobs, and extra podcasts every once in a while for you to go enjoy. Also, if you wish to support us while in Vrchat, we're now part of the creator economy. So please come join if you wish to support us there. It's there for you to choose if you so wish. And thank you very much. And a special thanks to some of the people who have signed up on our Patreon, which are as follows. And I have written down so I'll remember. And that's a tough thing. Forbidden Zero, Niche, Aliquum, Future Oracle, Lesser Capybara, and Frozen. Thank you all very much. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
Wow. Well, one of the keywords for today so far has been, hold on, I'm going to sneeze. I'm not going to sneeze. Wait.
You're going to be all right.
So you remember how I said my nose was kind of stuffy? Well, dang it! I'm not sneezing, and it's making me mad. It's been like this for 2 days. 2 days.
Okay. So anyway, before my nose explodes and I forget to breathe again for like the 80th time, do a counter for that. Please don't. Don't waste your time on that. I said no!
Hold on. No, I'm going to do a forget to breathe counter.
So anyways, besides me forgetting to breathe again.
Boy.
Chat, we're cooked. I'm cooked. Okay. And I literally forgot what we were talking about. Wait a minute. Say the question again.
I asked, now that you've told us a lot of your origin stories and regaled us some of your memories, how's it feel looking back at the journey you've been on from where you started to where you are now?
There we go. So, okay. Commercial break, feel like I'm going to sneeze. Got to stop. Just sneeze already, Rose, for the love of God. Just sneeze.
I just really hope the YouTube algorithm puts an advertisement break right where you said put an advertisement break. I hope it's smart enough to know that it just goes there. Sorry, those are that YouTube brand, but I hope it does.
Commercial
Please
break.
let us know. Please let us know if it's there.
I come from the future. Future.
She keeps lying. She keeps going. We're gonna have a Kleenex commercial, and we're gonna have sponsors by Kleenex commercials because she can't sneeze.
I would mow through a box of tissues right now. It's gross. Okay. But much like, shush up. I'm getting back on topic. Much like, because I'm going to distract myself and I'll keep distracting you. Okay, so much like one of my keywords today is try. I guess the second one is grateful. Very grateful. Some people are in your life for a season. And then some are there for multiple seasons. I've been very fortunate to surround myself with folks who have been here for multiple seasons. So they have seen me from, let's use models. They've seen me in my Vroid. They've seen me in my 50 billion fur models. Y'all don't even get surprised anymore when you see me in another pink model. As long as it's pink, yeah, it's me. Yeah. And I agree. Yeah, it's me. Yeah. But, you know, you saw me in a lapwing, a Celestia. I got knockers. Yeah, there's that. Got boobs. The lapwing is as flat as a Pringles can. I could cook eggs on that rack. That doesn't exist. But but I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you decided to spend some time with me here in our little micro niche of our rave scene or photography or seeing me staff at my clubs or just in general. Time is a very precious thing. I should know I can only be in VR now once a week, maybe twice a week. I used to have the opportunity to get on every day if I wanted. Not that I did, but I could. You don't get to see everybody all the time, and we're all over the planet. So time zones suck so many balls. I wish I could stab it with my fingernail for YouTube. Don't demonetize.
It's okay, we don't make
But
money on YouTube anyway.
dang.
Not
Oh,
yet.
round me
We're-
off it.
We're
Let me-
really
let me
close
look-
though.
let me
We're
lift my-
really close though, but we don't make it yet.
Here, let me go. Here you go. Sympathy money.
Hey,
Sympathy money
wow,
up in
yeah.
this bitch.
Hey, don't spend it all in one place, would you?
No. Come on, you gotta get paid. How else you gonna pay for those bills? Who's gonna buy you that new outfit, huh? Apparently, I'm a sugar mama right now. Oh, anyway, it's really nice, and I really do appreciate you, even if I don't see you all the time, or even if I don't talk as much. I am awkward. Even though this entire interview I've been loud and probably annoying to some of you. Please, I'm not offended. I know this is a lot. This is ADHD on drugs. Even though I'm taking drugs for the drugs. But you are appreciated. You spend the time, or you take the time, whether it's looking at a stupid post, or even one of my many little snippets that are very slowly starting to creep on my page now. You guys help to give me some silent strength to remember to try. I'm just grateful. That's literally all I can say. I'm just grateful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you.
No. So since I know it's getting late, we'll ask the last couple of questions before we wrap things up so you can get some proper sleep. The name used in VRChat, where does it come from and why to use it?
Roses are my favorite flower. I couldn't do rose by myself, so I put MVR because no one took it.
That's easy
quick.
enough.
That's right. That's quick enough.
Yeah, it's like honestly, some people probably have like, oh, I've had this name in RuneScape since 1992, or I've had this game since this one thing in the olden days. Nah, I like flowers, and I'm in VR, so why not make it literal? That's it. Yeah. I'm not cool like that. I don't have like an origin story.
It's A-okay. We asked that question because at one point in our own little journey, we just kind of curious, why do people represent themselves the way they represent themselves? So we just started asking it. It's a very personal question because some people have, like, as you see, these long drawn out stories. I had this one time, there's RuneScape, and then it led to bed camp or whatever. But it's personal to you. So we want to know, why are you this person in here? Well, thank you for sharing. Whether it's simple or complicated, it still matters.
Now, if we are on the topic of representation, I I might not have been super creative in terms of my name. I'm actually surprised that this wasn't taken. But I try to represent myself as best as possible in VR. So for those that have met me in person, number one, you're wonderful. I'm so glad that I got to see you. It's really hard to find people here in the East Coast. I am black. Wow, ain't that crazy? I do have cosplay ears that are exactly like this that I can just pull because I cosplay as well. Wow, crazy. I have horns that are exactly like this. I do wear glasses IRL. I do have 2 earrings. Or my ears pierced on both. I think it might actually be a little bit buggy in this one because I was trying to decimate it and it kind of failed. Anyway, I do have multiple piercings. The only thing that's actually missing is a nose ring and a septum, but I didn't feel like doing that. And I wasn't gonna bother the person who normally does my models. I'm Mia-8, by the way. You should definitely commission her. But yeah, I did have hair like this at one point. I had a 70s fro. I actually recently cut my hair. I'm really sorry to those who actually saw my hair when it was big and poofy, and now it's gone. I feel free now. I don't have to pick it. Black hair is stupid, especially 4C. All my sisters out there that have to deal with super textured hair or even curly crap, I know your pain. Just cut it. It's so much easier. And hair grows back, sis. You ain't gotta force yourself. Just put on a freaking wig. That's what they're there for. Name it. One of mine is Beatrice. Anyway, so yeah, there's that. And with some of the outfits on here, like this one would probably be a little too much skin. I would wear a longer skirt, but most of the clothes that I wear in VR, minus some modifications, I would also wear IRL. Again, the skirt's a little too short, but you know, for some reason, people do Celestia like she a hoe, and I can't really be too wholesome, apparently, because everybody likes to have their knockers out. But yeah, much like how when you talk to me in here, this is pretty much what you're going to get if you meet me in person. How I represent myself, minus the whole anime chick thing. This is actually more of like my winter skin tone. And now that spring's coming, I'm becoming dark chocolate. But it probably doesn't matter. I try to represent myself as close as possible in VR. So if I don't have it IRL, I probably have something I can cosplay with to do it. And I always joke with people. There's a Gumroad one that I have that's eerily similar to me, somewhat. So I don't like wearing that one because it's a little too close. But if I wanted to, I could literally cosplay myself. The only thing I'm not going to do is put in contacts because I'm scared I'm going to poke my eyeballs out. I have so much respect for you, but I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. I'm a wimp. I'm a dang wimp. So anyway, yeah, so there's that. Yeah.
Well, the next question could be the avatar and why did you choose it and use it? But you already answered a lot of it. So why did you choose the Celestia, the one you're in now?
I didn't want to be a Pringle stick. Okay. No. Okay. You know what? You know what? Zoom out the camera. We doing an avatar change, okay? Okay. So look at Celestia, right? And no, I know a lot of people who were Celestias turn into Miltinas. I don't care about the boobs, okay? This is fine. This is actually almost too big. Actually, it is too big. But look at this. There's figure. There's shape. A lot of these Japanese models are very, very subtle on their things. I'm black, okay? I got hips. I got a pear shape. You know, this is relatively close to my body shape for the most part. My Gumroad one is closer. Now, if we switch to my lapwing, which does not have face tracking, so you're going to see me use a lot of gestures, and my eyes are going to be darting all over the place because that's the only thing that actually works. I'm a Pringles can. I ain't got no shape. I'm so like, look at this. You got some lumps. Will you see my lapwing? It'll be like a gosh dang one of those southern movies where the cobweb is flying in front of you. I could put a pan on that chest and cook with it. It's disgustingly flat. And I'm not that flat. All right. let me stop being passive aggressive at this camera. let me change. All right, we're gonna switch to the singing one because I can do that. Okay. Ta-da! I hope this changed really fast. Okay, so whenever this decides to load,
You're loaded now.
Hi. You see, there are still things that are the same between the two models. Okay, you remember the Celestia, right? What is this? Seriously, what is this? There is the. What is this? Ew! Ew! This ain't nothing! This ain't nothing! You can put a pen on this chest! Look at this! Look at this! Flat. Stick. Pringles can! No! Now, don't get me wrong. This still does represent me in a way. But I'm not a stick. I'm not a stick. I have a figure. Oh, whoops, did I say that out loud? But this one's really cute and I really like it. You know, I still love my lapwings, don't get me wrong. But it's nice finding something that's a bit closer to me because, like I said, my partial, actually, IRL is brown. It's not pink, and I really do want to make a pink one day. But fursuits are incredibly expensive, furries, you know. But I wanted something that represented me a little bit more. And in this case, I wanted something that represented my body a bit better because I am small. I am. For my EU people, I'm 157 centimeters. For my US people, I'm 5'2". So I'm kind of short, you know. Short, got some long piano fingers. But no. I wanted some figure in my life. So here we go.
Well, thank you very much. It's been an absolute honor being able to meet.
You're
sit down
welcome.
with you and hear your tales.
Yeah,
Thank you.
very much so.
It's been entertaining.
Very, very entertaining.
Hold on, let me change again. Hold on. Henshin. Thank you very much for having me. I'm actually surprised. I genuinely expected this to go on for like freaking 2. Has it been 2 hours? Oh, it has. 3 hours. Dang, y'all. I'm sorry you gotta listen to me talk about a whole lot of nothing. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, hold on. It's time for Cali Girl. Oh my gosh, guys. So I went ahead and went to this little interview thing, and I went ahead and embarrassed myself live in front of a bunch of people on YouTube probably, and maybe some people on Twitter or YouTube, however you want to call it. I just said YouTube. I meant to say X. Anyway, I went ahead and rubbed my butt on the ground like a dog and, you know, made a lot of stupid jokes. And I'm also walking around my office and trying not to slam into the... I'm ad-libbing. And I'm trying really hard not to walk into this wall and this desk and hurt myself again like I did like 25, 30 minutes ago. But, you know, it's getting kind of hard. Also, I'm running out of breath and I forgot to breathe.
At least you didn't sneeze.
I want to sneeze. It's so irritating not being able to sneeze. So, yeah.
Well, the last question is, where can the audience find you if they wish to find you?
I won't tell you. Kidding.
That's
You
a
probably-
I
I
will check the
read that
description.
one.
All the links will be there if I can find it, as well as the Twitter video too.
Dang, all I was gonna say. That's crazy. Nope. You know what? Put that camera on the ground. It's time to rub my dang butt on this floor like a dog. We're going for it.
Oh,
You want
God.
content? You're getting content, you sluts. Merry Christmas.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
Not at all. I'm over here with my eyes watering. My fucking God. I think she's beat a few of the other people outline for fucking losing her shit. I'm fucking and I'm fucking.
There.
I got to
Anyway. Okay, hold on. I'm kind of old. Gotta take a second.
I'm
to get
kind
up.
of oh my god.
All right, hold on. Listen,
Oh,
my back hurts. Hold on. Wait a minute.
my back hurts.
Freak, man. I was literally putting together, answering that question. I was literally putting together an upgrade, and by upgrade I mean switching over a PC case with my husband. And we were sitting on our floor in the office where I'm sitting right now, and we were sitting on the ground for like 30 minutes. We looked at each other, and this is when we realized that we definitely weren't in our 20s, and definitely getting into the early 30s. But we looked and said, I need your help. I was asking him. He was asking me. So we both awkwardly had to, hold on, no, grab this. For a good 30 seconds. We looked like a bunch of old people, like our actual grandparents trying to get off this floor. It was disgusting. Take care of your body. You don't get younger, you get older, and you hear random cracks that you might not recognize. It won't kill you, probably, but take care of yourself. That means drink water too, you alcoholics. Drink water. Or at least drink a cup. Hydrate or dihydrate, you heathens. You can't party if you're dead. That's another thing I'm known for in sub. Anyway, okay, going back, because I went on a whole different tangent again. You can find me. I'm on Instagram, Twitter. Don't look at my Twitch because I barely go on there. It's pretty much just dead weight. Yeah, that's about it. And you can type in my name, RoseinVR, all lowercase. Exactly what you see in Vrchat is the exact same thing that you'll see there. Bios are all the same too, because I can't stand it when you're trying to look for someone and they have like 17 different alt names. That pisses me off. So I'm not going to do that. So I made sure to snag it before someone else took it. Sorry, other RoseinVR that potentially exist. I kind of ruined your life there. Kind of worth it because it's mine now. Thanks.
Well, Rose, thank you very much for your time. It's been an honor.
Oh my god, yes, thank you.
Well, with that said, as we'll close this up, remember to check the description, all the links mentioned, as well as the world we're in, or right down that way as well, a bunch of other fun things. If you go down to the video, YouTube a little bit, description, show more, everything's there. Rose's links will be in a section labeled guest links. It'll be right there you find if you're in Spotify.
Oh man, you're actually gonna do that?
Oh, I do that. I do that for everybody. And the Spotify link, it'll be in the episode description. Same label, same link, guest links, all one place for you to find. And lastly, the audience a question as well. What are some of your favorite memories and photos, or VRChat, or whatever? We'd like to hear about it. One of mine is when I met a certain tiny somebody, and we talked about things like Mr. Hands and stuff like that for far too long.
Aww.
It lasted for far too long talking about old world internet cursed content. That shouldn't have happened, but it did. Now we're friends. With that said, Raptor, you know the thing.
Yeah, I got it, but I hope I can breathe it. I like the person on the other end trying to sneeze, and there it went. She finally sneezed. But on the
2 hours. Finally.
but on that note,
Praise be our rat. Praise.
God. Oh my God.
It only took 2 hours. 2. Hope you enjoyed my roast crack. It's free. And now you get to watch this vid and have nightmares because of me. You're not welcome. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Also, my butt hurts, so there's that. That's what I get for wearing shorts and
Oh my God.
Raptor
But on
lizard.
that note, yeah, I'm gonna go with this as soon as I can get in gear. But I'm gonna go
Write that
with it.
down,
No
write
matter how much energy you have, and in this situation, if they could bottle what Rose puts right now in front of you, we'd all have a whiff of it. And it might be a
It's
crack,
illegal.
and it might be in a Pringles can. But whatever it is, don't shake the bottle. And if it does, you're gonna be wearing it. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Meow. 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 This is not as easy as it looks without making it. Meow. 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 Beep beep. Mom, I forgot to get my flyer license. Yeah. My helicopter's in the ditch. Whoa, big hole. Whoa. Beep beep.